For the 2024 housing market is what we're going to cover today. But before we get into all that, please like, comment, subscribe, share, all those fun things that help grow the channel and stay informed on what's going on in Wichita and also the housing market around here and kind of what we're seeing from both past data and then also just what we got to feel for the future. Because the truth is about these forecasts is what I'll tell you is that nobody knows for sure. We make our best guesses and assumptions and observations based on data and trends, but ultimately in the day, we don't know for sure until it's happening. Although we can help you to navigate those real-time present situations based on your personal plan and preference on everything. But I'm going to go ahead and start sharing the screen and get into the data so we can just show you the same things we look at. As you can see here, we're going to go over two different resources, one being our local MLS data, the other one being national data that we study from several different resources that are cited on here. I'm actually going to go ahead and jump into the national resources first because there are much more predictions, forecasts, trends that we can study from these than necessarily our local data. Our local data is more so just past historical perspective on what's going on in our market, and it doesn't necessarily get into much as far as the future, what to expect. So for this video's sake, we're going to go through the trends that we're seeing and observations that will affect you in 24 more so than just the historical data. So the first thing I want to get into is what they're calling the year of fives. So mortgage rates are expected to be at 5% by the end of May, which would be awesome to get them there. That'll definitely help with affordability and price payments, since that seems to be what the hangup is. They're projecting about 5.5 million in total home sales, and then about 5% is the approximate home price appreciation you can come to expect or realize in 24, which is normal. 5 to 8% appreciation. Appreciation is pretty normal, healthy appreciation, which is kind of what we need to get back to on everything. First one will go be 5. Mortgage rates, as you can see, are already dipping. They're about 6 right now at the time of this recording. It is January 10th, 2024. Give me an idea. So these are some of the trends obviously we study. With that being the case, there's a lot of people holding off to buy houses at this time of year, or sorry, in September, October last year, because they're getting up into the 8s area. And then going into this year, they're getting down into the 6s. So definitely easing up as far as cost of money. Let's see. Also, this gives you an idea of like how many loans have rates less than 5%. Significant amount of them are in that 3 to 4%, 36% of them, 22% are less than 3%, which is insane. I think we're at the peak lock-in effect, meaning like people that are looking to move up or lifestyle sellers are coming to terms with the fact that 3 and 4% aren't coming back around. And as this lock-in effect is easing up in 24, it could help boost existing home sales. And again, these are all from economists, experts in their field studying these things. Homeowners who are looking at selling weren't necessarily influenced by rates, saying 95% of them, we're going to be selling regardless of rates. What they don't entirely realize, though, is that they're still going to be affected by rates, because if buyers can't buy the house or don't want to buy the house, obviously that's going to affect their sale. So that's why interest rates and what buyers are doing is so important, because in order to sell your home, you have to have a buyer to buy it on everything. So I know as agents, we primarily talk about and discuss listings so much, but in all reality, a listing isn't anything without a buyer to buy it. So that's where you really got to have a buyer to be brought to the table. Without a buyer on a listing, none of this happens. So that's why rates and people buying houses is such a important factor that we study so often. So yeah, roughly half of November buyers were going to buy regardless of interest rates, 23% purchase with cash. So anyway, top 3 reasons buyers paused decisions, 72% was because of interest rates. Reasons given for pausing the purchase, multiple could be chosen, but 72% of people said because of mortgage rates, and then 34 and 17 was inventory and affordability prices. So really, it's not that people don't want and need to move, it's that the rate's too high, and so they either couldn't or they wouldn't, and so it kind of just stalled everything up. So everything from 2023 that didn't get completely satisfied is still going to be around. Those people that go anywhere, they still want to buy, they still want to sell, and they need to go somewhere. Plus we have your normal spring market demand. So that's shaping up for 2024 to be a pretty big year. And a lot of agents got out of the business, which that's a whole nother subject or conversation to have. So, and their interest rate cuts as we kind of go back into a more of a normal market, I think the institutional investors and everyone else are starting to ease up a little bit and say everything's going to be okay on it all. So new construction is definitely accounting for more home sales. They're at about 31% of total homes available for sale. Historically, it's been 12% on it all. So that gives you an idea that people are going more towards new builds since just the homes that they want just aren't out there. So they're either having to build a house, which we can help you with my construction background, or they're buying a new build house just because simply retail homes aren't there and they need to buy, they need to get into a house type of a situation. So home prices, about a 5% appreciation is what they're expecting. So this gives you an idea kind of over time what they're looking to have happen. And typically they're fairly conservative on these. Because like 2023, you can see where we had a average of 5.9.2% interest rate appreciation. And then you can see the rest of everything. Right now, my dog's trying to get in on this action too. So he's trying to give you his opinion, but he's not allowed. He's not an expert. Let's see. So potential growth in household wealth over the next 5 years based solely on increased home equity. They're looking at about 72,000 is what they're going to be looking at there. And then 5% is what they're thinking will be the appreciation. So that gives you at least an idea of, without having to go through all this stuff, where things are going to be at with mortgage rates dropping, that kind of thing. So that's all agent stuff there. So that's your national trends and what we're seeing. So 5% interest rates towards May, 5% appreciation, about 5.5 million in total home sales. As far as our local market for MLS in Wichita, this is what we're seeing as far as, like, I can show you the December data, which somewhat has an effect on December. But really, I'd like to just show you the graphs. That is the best thing for you to look at. So if you look at in the red, we had a significantly abnormal amount of transactions still going on back then. But then 2022 and 2023 is kind of more of a normal trend of seeing things drop off into the fall and the winter as far as number of sales. And then, as you can see, come February, March, things to really start back up. But because of a slow holiday season, cold winters, that kind of thing, people aren't really wanting to sell and move, which is why you see the number of home sales typically in January so low. But then in March, it almost doubles. And then into May and June, it really gets crazy. So if you're all thinking about doing anything moving wise in 2024, get with me now so we can put together strategies, plans, processes for you to be successful at this. So that you can get the most favorable result that you're looking to get out of this by smart strategy, smart planning. This isn't a rushed situation. You know, there's no pressure from us. There's no pressure in the situation other than if you start too late. And if you try to rush this last minute, it's really because there wasn't enough strategic planning and conversation and discussion to be in a good place, to not feel like you're rushing this, not feel like, you know, this is a last minute winging it type of thing. Solid strategies, plans, and processes so that we're securely and confidently moving forward and making decisions, not just kind of fly by night, flying by the seat of your pants, and then all this crazy hecticness, because this is a big deal. It's a big house. So we got to really have solid strategies and plans and processes in place, not just kind of winging it and being loose and all over the place. So average price still holding out at 247. Median price is at 202, which, if you're not too familiar with these, averages is the average of everything combined. Median is just what the middle is. An average is probably a better indicator of where home prices are at than median. Median is just where the middle is at, not necessarily averaging out everything that goes with that. That's a whole statistics class to go over that can be kind of confusing for some people. Average days on market is increasing to 27. So it is taking longer to sell homes. I could see that coming down though with the interest rates coming down. See what else we got. So this is your history of active listings. Most everything follows that normal bell curve throughout the year, but we are starting to see the number of listings start to increase, but we're still well below the pandemic years and the unicorn years, which is what we're calling those. Active listings by month, we're at about 1365, whereas like 2021 we were at 732, and 22 we're at 1043 for December. And then as we get into the spring months, we'll start to see that increase on everything, just because, put simply, weather. People really don't want to move and buy and sell middle of the winter around here because it's so cold. It's supposed to be like a high of 4 degrees this Sunday. I don't think anybody's gonna want to be doing anything. We like to buy our houses and sit in them and live in them. If you're a homebody, you're gonna love Wichita. Let's see, anything else significant to note here? Average days on market is getting up there for active listings. There was one, so our supply is getting higher, but it's still pretty low as far as month supply. There was one more significant new listings by month. This gives you an idea of how many people really don't want to put new listings on the market in November and December. December is our lowest point. In January, it starts to come around, February, and then March, April, it really starts to shoot up as kind of like the normal spring and summer cycle takes place. School, weather, all those things that go with that of it all. Anything else significant to note on here? I don't believe so. Let me check to make sure I'm not missing anything. That is it. So hopefully it helps you get an idea of what to expect in 2024 for the housing market, both from national trends we're seeing that still affect us locally in Wichita, and then what's going on with Wichita itself. If you want to go ahead and book out a time to talk to me, you can follow my website below to check things out so we can have a unique discussion around your personal situation, your neighborhood, your lifestyle, your game plan, what you're looking to pull off. You know, I can give you pretty broad overview statistics and understanding like this, but really that doesn't entirely matter other than your personal, exact, unique, specific situation and what we can pull off. So, you know, if that's something you're needing, go ahead and check out my website for more resources, more videos, more education. And then if you'd like more customized services from me, go ahead and follow that process down below. As you'll see with a lot of the things we built, we really try to provide value and education up front and service, and then kind of have you tell us where you want to go. There's none of this like hard selling, hard pressure, push type of a thing when it comes to traditional sales agents, if you will. You know, we look at it more from a marketing standpoint and a service standpoint that just naturally happens to create a sale, so that it's not some weird, awkward BS from us as agents anyway. You know, there are hard, tough situations we help you through and deal with you, but it's not going to come from us specifically. So anyway, if you'd like to talk more, check out the links below, follow some of my processes to have a conversation to see if what we do works for you guys or not. And then we can kind of just go from there. But appreciate watching as always. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and we'll talk to you soon. See ya.